Hey, welcome to Home Video Hangouts. Today I'm going to be sharing with you an update on my entire action movie collection from all my 4Ks, my steelbooks, my box sets, my DVDs, my Blu-rays. I'm going to go through all of it one by one. This will be a detailed walkthrough where I give you some insights into why I'm collecting some of these, which ones I've seen, which ones I haven't seen, and stay tuned until the end of the video because I'm going to be going through my updated Funko Pop collection above my action shelves as well. And I will be doing more videos like this in the future where I go through each of the genres in my movie collection, so stay tuned for those as well. But let's get started. We're starting with my box sets here, which are 4K box sets. So starting out, we have the Harry Potter full 4K box set here. This one's kind of stuck in here. So this one's an 8-film collection. I really enjoy the Harry Potter series. I've enjoyed watching some of the films in this box set. And it seemed like they did a good job with these 4K releases too. I feel like they really upgraded the video quality over the original DVD releases. And in addition, there are some good special features on there. I think the audio really stands out from what the previous releases had on these 4K releases as well. So pretty happy with that box set. I found a great deal on that. I think I paid less than $100 for the whole set of 8 movies. So I think I paid $10 or less per movie. Not a bad deal. Then next we have the Bjorn series here. So there's a few different versions of this 4K box set out there, but I found a good deal on this one. It's been a long time since I've watched any of these movies, so I probably need to rewatch some of them soon, but I do like that series. Great action series, been around a while, so probably have to get them to try again soon. Then of course I have to have the Dark Knight series here. So this is a pretty small box set that has the trilogy in it. I enjoy all those movies, think they're pretty well made, and I am looking forward to seeing what these look like on 4K in terms of the contrast and the black levels and everything on my OLED TV. Should be pretty cool. Then here we have the 5-movie collection for Jurassic World. So this doesn't include every single movie. You could see it includes quite a few here on the back. Jurassic Park, The Lost World, Jurassic Park 3, Jurassic World, and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. So Dominion's not included here because it came out later after the box set, but I do have that one separately in my collection. Then I have a Mission Impossible collection here as well. This is a 6-movie collection. So I haven't watched any of these in quite a while either, but I do want to rewatch those on 4K. I've never been a huge fan of the Mission Impossible series, but I definitely want to give them another chance because they're very popular. It's another one of those series where they keep upping the action with every release, so I'll probably give that another try. And then we have the Resident Evil collection here. There are also a couple different types of box sets you can get on 4K for Resident Evil. This is the one that just has these kind of cardboard holders for each disc inside, whereas there's another one that includes a bunch of steelbooks. Both you could find good deals on online during sales, but I was happy with getting this one. I didn't feel like I needed to have steelbooks up for all of them if they're just going to be in a box set anyway. So I haven't watched these yet, but I am looking forward to trying out that series. Then we have my action steelbooks here. I have all my 4K steelbooks together at least. I have a few Blu-ray steelbooks which will be separate. So first of all, we have Captain Marvel. I watched this one in the theater. Haven't watched it on 4K yet. I got Kin. This is a pretty cool looking steelbook and not a bad movie. This one I have watched. I was able to pick this one up for $5 at Walmart when I found it one day. I haven't found a lot of $5 4K steelbooks at Walmart, but I did find that one at one point. Then here is Violent Night, one of my favorite action movies and favorite Christmas movies of all time. I really wanted to have the steelbook for this one because of how much I love that movie, and I just think it's really great. So pretty cool looking steelbook, has kind of a textured finish on it as well. So highly recommend that one if you haven't seen it. Then next we have Sympathy for the Devil. I got this one from Best Buy during their clearance time. I paid like $13 or $14 for it, not knowing anything about the movie, and it's not a bad movie for, as far as the movies that Nicolas Cage has come out in recently. I feel like he's had a lot of movies that aren't the greatest, but I was kind of impressed with what they did with this one with the lower budget it had, and so I would recommend checking that one out. It's a nice steelbook too. Then we have here, we have one of the Thor movies. This one is Love and Thunder, I believe. Yes, and there's the back of it. So I watched this one in the theater. I enjoyed that one. Haven't checked out the 4K yet, but all of the Marvel movies are pretty cool, and I enjoy Thor. Then here we have Black Panther Wakanda Forever in a 4K Steelbook. It was interesting with this one because I got this from Best Buy towards the end of their clearance, and there was actually 2 different versions of this 4K Steelbook, and I chose to pick up this one. I thought this was the cooler one of the 2, and it was available nearby. So there's the front of it, there's the back of it, but I thought it was pretty strange that they made 2 different versions of the same Steelbook. It seems like kind of a cash grab from collectors, in my opinion. It's kind of weird, but I'm glad I found that one. And here is Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I like the artwork on this one. I haven't seen the second Shazam yet here, but I watched the first one in the theater and enjoyed it, and so I'll be giving both of these a try on 4K. Then Iron Man. I have Iron Man 3 here on Steelbook, and I ended up watching all of these movies in the theater, I believe, and I would say Iron Man is one of my favorite series in the MCU, so I definitely want to have all of those on 4K of some kind, but happy I got a good deal on that Steelbook. I think I only paid $6 or $7 for that Steelbook. And here is Ant-Man Quantumania. Pretty cool artwork on that Steelbook. Haven't watched that movie yet, but I've watched the rest of the series. Pretty good Marvel series as well. Then here I have both of these Star Wars Steelbooks. So we have The Empire Strikes Back as well as Return of the Jedi. These were special Steelbooks that came out that were sold at Best Buy as part of the Disney 100th anniversary. And these are 4K Steelbooks as well, and a lot of people didn't like the artwork that these Steelbooks have. I was just happy to get a good deal on the 4K copies of these movies because I paid like $10 for them, which isn't too bad of a deal. There's not much on the back of them, just this logo here. So, while a lot of people don't like those, I'm happy to have them. And then here's Creed 3. I'm trying to get all the Creed movies on 4K. I have only this one on a Steelbook copy, though. Not a bad fighting series. And then just watched this movie recently, Kick-Ass 2. Both the Kick-Ass movies are awesome, I think, and they did really well with the Steelbook too. It has nice texture, some cool spray paint type artwork on it. A couple more of the characters on the back. Really enjoy that one. Then this is a kind of a unique Steelbook that I picked up just recently. So this Steelbook actually is a slipcover. It has a clear slipcover that slips out of, and it has some information on the back on the clear part. So I like how they did that instead of just sticking a cardboard thing on the back like they do with this box set here, for example. So Chaos Walking I haven't watched recently. I'm not sure if I ever watched it on streaming, but I'll be giving that one a try again soon as well. Okay, now moving over here. I did something a little different with how I have this part of the box sets organized. So first of all, we have my Fast and Furious movies. Fast and Furious movies are some of my favorite movies that I have. It's one of my favorite series of all time because I love cars and I love the crazy action sequences in these movies. So I have the 8-movie 4K collection here. And then before that, I have my individual copies. So I have Fast X over here in the corner, F9, and Hobbs and Shaw. I also do have Furious 7 in a Blu-ray Steelbook, which I never got rid of when I got this 4K collection, just because I like having the Steelbook. So you'll see that later on in this video, but these are all of my Fast and Furious movies. So this is another one that has like a cardboard thing on the back. So very happy to have all those on 4K. Then we have the Planet of the Apes trilogy. So I have all of those movies right now, but I know we're going to have another Planet of the Apes movie coming out shortly, so I'll have to get that when it comes out too. But I do enjoy all these movies. I think it's an excellent series, and I rewatched War for the Planet of the Apes just recently, so I highly recommend all of those films. All right, then I also have the Lord of the Rings trilogy. This can be kind of a pricier 4K set to buy, but I love those movies and wanted to have them the highest quality possible. I haven't watched these on 4K yet, but I look forward to it because there's some great action in those, and I imagine that a lot of effort went into making this 4K release, and so I'm hoping they did well with that one. I can't wait to give that one a try. All right, then we have the Hobbit series, of course, as well. I've actually never seen any of these movies yet, so I want to start that trilogy as well, maybe after I rewatch the Lord of the Rings series. But both of these are ones that I think will be great on the 4K format. Then here I have the Mummy Ultimate Trilogy, and this one I'm assuming probably originally came in like some kind of slipcover, because I bought this used at Rasputin and it just came like this, and I got a pretty good deal on it, but I do think it's missing a slipcover most likely, because if I turn this upside down, the disc would almost start like falling out of the top, which isn't ideal, but it does take up less space on my shelf this way anyway, so I'm okay with it. Then I have the Predator 4-movie collection. I remember getting a pretty good deal on this one at half-price books with a discount, so been a long time since I've seen any of those movies too, but I'll be giving those another shot at some point. Then we have the Jack Ryan 5-film collection here. I've never given these a try, so I'll want to watch through those at some point as well, but got another good deal on this one. I think it was during one of Amazon's sales where they had a good deal on 4K discs. And of course, the classic Back to the Future. Have this whole trilogy. I've watched the first 2 of these on this 4K set. Haven't watched the third one in 4K yet, but I think they did a pretty good job with it. Not my favorite 4K release ever, but overall I think it does the movies justice, and it's worthwhile to pick up the 4K copies for these. Then we have a Transformers movie set here. This is a 5-movie collection, so there's some that aren't included in here, some of the spin-offs and some of the future movies, but this was overall a pretty good deal I think I got from Amazon as well. So these are, fun, kind of mindless movies to watch with a lot of crazy action. I always enjoy watching those. And here is the Indiana Jones 4-movie collection. If I remember right, I think I got a deal on this one either from Amazon or from Target with a sale. Has 4 movies in it, so wouldn't have the latest release in it, but these are all great movies and definitely ones I'll want to rewatch on 4K at some point. So that is it for the 4K box sets in the action section. Now we're going to move on to some individual ones. So first of all here I have Deadpool. So Deadpool is one that I definitely want to have in 4K because one of my favorite movies in all of the MCU. Good release there. Life, I could almost maybe consider this one a horror movie too, but I enjoy this one as kind of a sci-fi action movie, and if you haven't seen that one, I highly recommend it. It's a great, kind of even underrated sci-fi adventure, so that's another one I'd recommend seeing on 4K specifically. This one's upside down here, it looks like. We have Event Horizon. I don't believe I've actually watched this one yet. I think I've heard good things about the 4K release though, so I'll be giving that one a shot soon. Then Ready Player One. This is an awesome one in terms of visual effects. Definitely a must-have on the 4K format. And especially if you're into video games, there's lots of great retro references in here and everything. Just a really unique movie. And Wonder Woman. This is probably my favorite movie of the DC universe. This or one of the Batman movies. I definitely think this first one is way better than Wonder Woman 1984 that came out after it. So happy to have that one in 4K too. Then here we have Ghostbusters Answer the Call. This one gets a lot of hate, but I got a pretty good deal on this one on 4K, and while it did get a lot of hate, I do appreciate some of the visual effects in it and how, it's one of the first movies to incorporate a lot of modern visual effects into the Ghostbusters series, so I'll be watching that one on 4K at some point soon too, probably. And here we have Infinite with Mark Wahlberg. Not very familiar with this movie, but another one I believe I picked up pretty cheap, probably at Mad Monk or Rasputin. Has a slipcover as well. Then we have a 4K collection of Men in Black, the first 3 movies. Those are all classics you gotta have. And here we have Hellboy. This is a slipcover as well. I haven't watched this one yet. And Godzilla vs. Kong with a slipcover. I watched the latest movie in this series in the theater recently, so makes me tempted to watch some of these older ones again. Just the awesome action they have, that would be great for 4K. And Passengers, this one has kind of a thick case. I watched this one in the theater when it came out, but I haven't watched it again since then, so have to rewatch that. Thor Ragnarok, probably my favorite movie in the Thor series. I appreciate what they did with both Thor and the Hulk in this one. That was a lot of fun to watch. And the original Thor, not my favorite movie in the MCU, but still one I wanted to have in my collection because I picked it up cheap. And Free Guy, a lot of fun to watch this movie if you like any kind of video games. I think they chose a great cast for this one and just had a lot of fun with it. Nobody, this was kind of an unexpected movie, but very much a fun clone of John Wick. I really enjoyed the action sequences in here and kind of the whole plot. And Overlord, this is one of the first 4K movies I added to my physical media collection many years ago, way before my YouTube channel. And this one has some great visual effects in it too. Not my favorite 4K of all time, but I do recommend this one on the format, and this one has a slipcover, which is cool, but I remember picking it up at Best Buy many years ago. Then we have Independence Day Resurgence. Gotta have the Independence Day movies on 4K. And Aquaman, I really enjoyed this movie when it came out. Jason Momoa makes for a great superhero. And we have Collateral. I watched that one not too long ago. Older movie and not the best visually on 4K, a lot of grain and stuff, but good plot, engaging story. And then we've got Bad Boys for Life. I enjoyed that one in the theater too, and that whole series is a lot of fun. Now moving on, we have The Martian over here. This was a great Matt Damon movie. I watched that one in the theater. That one's great on a big screen and would be great on the 4K format, I'm sure. You'll see there's a lot of movies here I haven't watched yet. I slowly watch my movies over time, and I'm always picking up new ones, so it's tough to stay up to date on watching everything in my collection, but I'm constantly curating it to make it my own and just keep the movies that I really want to have. And then here we have The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I'm working on getting all of the Spider-Man movies on 4K, but don't have a lot of them so far, but I do have that one. And here is Deadpool 2. I enjoyed the follow-up to that movie, and I'm very much looking forward to the third Deadpool movie where they incorporate Wolverine. Should be a lot of fun. I enjoy how much comedy they put in those movies. And Rampage, fun one with Dwayne Johnson, especially if you ended up ever playing any of those old Rampage arcade games. Has a little bit of a Godzilla and Kong feel. And this one here, I really love this movie. This is probably one of my favorite 4Ks in my collection, Alita Battle Angel. I feel like this is still a pretty underrated movie. I mean, it's the same producers as Avatar, it says right there, and I think it has kind of a unique style, unique plot, and it looks really great on 4K. Definitely very vibrant, very clear, and I highly, highly recommend checking out that one if you haven't already. You can usually find this one pretty cheap on Amazon and different places too. Robin Hood with Jamie Foxx. I don't know a lot about this one. I don't think it got super high ratings, but I wanted to still get that a shot on the 4K format. I got Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, and I don't think I've ever seen this one yet either, but it has a great cast, so I'll want to give that one a shot. I think they incorporate a good amount of comedy in those as well. Then here we have Love and Monsters. So this one I haven't seen recently, but I did see years ago, so I'll be giving that one a shot again soon. Then next we have Avatar. Of course, you got to have Avatar on 4K. Haven't given this a try on a 4K disc yet, but I did watch it recently on Disney Plus, which was disappointing, and I did watch it multiple times in the theater when it came out, so still have to give this 4K copy a try. Then here we have some Avengers movies. First of all, Avengers Infinity War. And I did enjoy watching all these in the theater. I'll have to give them a try on 4K because it seems like a movie that would be good on the 4K format. This one here is Avengers Age of Ultron. And here is the original Avengers. And lastly, Avengers Endgame. So my opinion on those, I enjoyed some of the effects in the last two movies in the Avengers series, but I do miss a lot of the cast that was part of these. You know, they were a lot of fun to have in the MCU. Then Oblivion, I remember watching this one in the theater when it came out. Not my favorite Tom Cruise movie, but wasn't bad. I could see this one having some good visual effects on the 4K format. Ender's Game, haven't watched this one yet either. This one has a slipcover though. Got that one pretty inexpensively. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Those movies are both a lot of fun. I know Disney's 4K releases aren't typically the best, but they're still ones I like to have on the highest quality format possible because they're classics. And the original, this is Rambo, The Fight Continues. And this one I have because I'm trying to get all the Rambo movies on 4K. I picked up Rambo 3 recently on 4K and want to try to get all of those, and then I'll probably watch through that whole series again once they have them all on 4K, because I kind of see those almost like John Wick from an earlier time. You know, a lot of intense action in those. Pretty cool. And here I have Plane. I watched this one in the theater as well. That's a pretty good Gerard Butler movie, in my opinion. Definitely another kind of survival plane crash type movie. There's been some of those in the past, but they did really well with this one, I thought. And here we have Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. I've heard this isn't the greatest 4K release, but I'm still going to give it a try. I think I got a pretty good deal on this 4K. And Brightburn with the slipcover. I think years ago I watched this one on streaming or something. Kind of an interesting concept, but hopefully that one will look pretty good on 4K. And The New Mutants. I don't know a lot about this one, but it looks like it was a pretty young cast. Could have some good visual effects. And Widows, another one I don't know a lot about, but it seemed like a decent cast. This one has a slipcover too. And here I have X-Men Dark Phoenix. I don't think this one is rated very high. I got this one pretty cheap, and I've seen this one cheap in a few different places, but this has a slipcover too. And Star Wars The Last Jedi. I know these modern Star Wars movies aren't really as good as the older ones, but still want to have that whole series. I still enjoy some of the action in those. Same with Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. And here is Solo, the Star Wars story. That's probably one of my least favorite in the series, but still wanted to have it. Monster Hunter, another movie based on a video game. This one has some intense sci-fi type action too. And Annihilation in 4K with a slipcover. I remember watching this one in the theater and thought this one had some interesting visual effects and a very interesting plot, so very happy to be able to watch that one on 4K. Training Day, I did see this 4K copy recently. I did a pretty good job with that one. It's not going to be the most visually stunning, but overall I think it's a good release. This one has the nice Warner Brothers 100 slipcover. And Gemini Man, I watched this one recently as well, and this one's unique because of the high frame rate that it plays in and that was recorded in. So everything looks a little bit different because of the higher frame rate in this movie. So that makes it especially unique for an action movie and something I really enjoyed watching. And here is Kong Skull Island. That had a unique filming style in the Kong and Godzilla series. And Godzilla King of Monsters. This one has a slipcover too. Enjoy that cover quite a bit. That had some awesome monsters in it, some awesome monster battles. And the original Godzilla, this one's not my favorite in the series if you see my ranking video of all those movies, but still a good movie. And here we have King Kong Ultimate Edition. So that was, not really related to the other movies, but still a decent one. And Full Metal Jacket. Haven't watched this one, I believe, but wanted to give that one a try. Here's another one that I feel is pretty underrated. I didn't see this one in a theater, but I got this 4K and watched it at home, and I thought it had incredible visuals, incredible audio. This is a slipcover copy as well. And I think it's an awesome movie. While a lot of people don't think it's that great, I really enjoyed it. Here we have 2001: A Space Odyssey. This is seen by a lot of people as one of the greatest 4K releases, a great reference disc. And I will say for its time period, it was an advanced movie. This is a great 4K release in terms of the resolution and visuals and everything, but it is a very slow-paced movie, not the most engaging. So I do appreciate this release specifically, but I can't say it's my favorite movie of all time. Then In the Heart of the Sea with Chris Hemsworth. I got a good deal on this one through Groove, and I enjoyed that movie. It's a great kind of ocean story where they're on boats and ships most of the time, and I enjoyed it for what it was. Again, a little bit slower pace, but still a very enjoyable movie. And here's a multi-pack with Expendables 1 through 3. There's a lot of good deals out there on the Expendables movies on 4K on different formats, whether it's box sets like this or individually. Great cast in all those. Here we have Air Force One with Harrison Ford. Haven't watched this one recently, but I've heard good things about it. And another Spider-Man movie, you got Far From Home with the slipcover. I think I got this one for $6 or $7 too. And we have Mechanic Resurrection, the 4K slipcover. I want to watch these couple movies again soon because I love Jason Statham's movies and don't remember this one very well. And here is Spider-Man Homecoming, another good one in the Spider-Man series. And another Tom Holland movie, Uncharted, with the slipcover. I think the casting was a little odd for this one based on the video game. I don't think Mark Wahlberg was the best choice for his character, but I did enjoy this movie still. And then here we have Midway. Haven't watched that one recently, but war movies are usually pretty cool on 4K. And here we have Ocean's 8. I haven't seen that one yet either, but I've heard it's not the best in that whole series. And here I have Apollo 13. Still got a sticker on that one because I don't know whether I'm keeping this one in my collection yet, but I'll give that one a try soon. Then we're going to move over a little bit here. Here's another Jurassic movie. Here's Jurassic World Dominion. That wasn't part of my box set I mentioned earlier, so I have that one separately. Then we have Mortal Kombat, another video game movie I haven't watched recently. And The Dark Tower, I picked this one up on 4K recently. This one has Dolby Atmos and Vision, so that should be a pretty good looking one that I'll have to try out soon. And we have Snatch. I've heard this could be a pretty good comedy, but haven't tried it yet. Another one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. I'm going to try to get all those on 4K. This one's Dead Men Tell No Tales. Here we have VFW. This looks like an interesting action, thriller, horror kind of movie. And we have Anna, female lead in an action revenge type movie. And The Darkest Minds in this 4K with the slipcover. I don't know a lot about this one, but this one I think I upgraded at one point because it was cheap. And Bumblebee. This one was at least partially filmed in Santa Cruz, California, where I'm initially from, so wanted to watch that one soon. Whole Transformers series is pretty fun. And here's Tom Cruise in War of the Worlds, classic alien sci-fi movie. And The Hitman's Bodyguard. Haven't seen these recently. And The Revenant. That was a pretty intense movie that definitely need to see in 4K. And Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon. I watched a lot of Bruce Lee movies over the years, and this was cool to get this Warner Brothers 100 slipcover release. 1917, I was excited to find this one because I think this one has a very unique filming style with the one continuous shot, and that was really cool. Still got this one sealed. I think I got that from Groove. And I believe I got this from Groove as well, the John Wick Chapter 1 through 3 combo pack. Love the whole John Wick series. And here's the Mad Max anthology. I've seen some of the movies. I don't think I've seen all of them, and I wanted to watch all of them through again on 4K, so happy to have that box set. And Speed. Picked this one up from Best Buy on sale for probably $10 or less. Great movie. Haven't watched it for years, but know it's a great classic. And Voyagers. This is an interesting sci-fi movie with a young cast. I think I watched this on streaming years ago, but wanted to give the 4K disc a shot too. And Deepwater Horizon with Mark Wahlberg. It's an intense one based on a true story, I believe, in a 4K slipcover. And The Incredible Hulk. I actually enjoyed this movie, I think, more than a lot of people do. The interesting fact about this, there's actually a Blu-ray release of this movie that has a green Blu-ray case, which was unique. I don't have that personally, but wanted to have this one in 4K. And Triple X, Return of Xander Cage. I did enjoy this movie quite a bit when I saw it in the theater. It was great bringing Vin Diesel back to that series, as that was a fun series of action movies. And here's The Meg on 4K. I didn't like the sequel to this as much, but the original is definitely entertaining to watch. And Snitch, one I really enjoy from Dwayne Johnson. Great 4K copy with the slipcover. And 47 Ronin with the slipcover. So this one I wanted to watch because it has Keanu Reeves and it had an interesting plot. It did have some cool visual effects that I enjoyed, but pretty slow paced. Not my favorite movie of all time. Transformers Rise of the Beasts. Wanted to have all the Transformers movies, so that one I haven't watched yet, but I'll be watching through those again at some point. And then we have Kingsman: The Secret Service. I watched both the Kingsman movies recently. That was a pretty enjoyable one. Good 4K release here too. These look really good on the 4K format. Both have very vibrant visuals and a good soundtrack. And then ID4 Independence Day on 4K. Haven't watched that one on the 4K copy yet, but another classic movie. Terminator Genesis. Working on getting all the Terminator movies. I got the second one on Blu-ray because I know that's not a very good 4K release, but the rest of them I'll probably get on 4K. Original 300, this was an interesting one to watch on the 4K format because it was probably one of the grainiest movies I've ever seen, which I guess was maybe an artistic choice, but I'm never a huge fan of that, and I think this would have been better with a little bit less grain, but still an intense movie, one I enjoy. And then got a double pack here of both the Top Gun movies, Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick. So I watched both of those, or actually I watched Maverick in the theater, and then I've seen both of the movies multiple times, but the 4K copy here is incredible. And then Now You See Me 1 and 2 in a combo pack. I don't know if I've seen these before, but I wanted to watch those in 4K. Here is Captain America Winter Soldier, another MCU movie. Here is the original Iron Man. I think this is my favorite movie in the MCU of all time. Probably this or Deadpool. Captain America, the First Avenger. One of my least favorite in the MCU, probably. Baby Driver. This is a very fun movie. Really enjoy this one. Great soundtrack. Great car driving, stunts and everything. And pretty good cast. Here we have Stallone, First Blood. So again, trying to get the whole Rambo series. Here we have Rambo Last Blood. I haven't watched that one ever actually yet. And I do have Wonder Woman 1984, even though I didn't think it was the best movie. I wanted to still give it a try on 4K for some of the visuals. Here's Red Sparrow. I watched this one, I think, in a theater, but haven't watched it at home yet, so I'll have to give that 4K a try. And here I have Punisher Warzone. Not very familiar with that one, but I'll try that out. The Magnificent Seven. I don't have a lot of Westerns, but I remember this one being a decent one. Equalizer 2 on 4K. Not a bad series. Bullet Train in 4K. I got this one from Best Buy. Wasn't my favorite movie. Has a few good action sequences and some visuals, but overall not my favorite. I was almost hesitant to even keep this one, but I'm keeping it in my collection for now. Then here's the more modern Men in Black International. Not as good as the originals, but not terrible. And Mortal Engines. I love this movie. This is probably another one of my favorite 4Ks in my collection, just from how this movie looks and sounds. I think this one really does the 4K format justice and really shows what a 4K disc is capable of. Even if this isn't the highest rated movie or whatever, this looks and sounds incredible on this format. All right, on the next row here, we have A Simple Favor on 4K the slipcover. This is one that I actually paid like $1 for, I think, so that was an incredible deal. I watched that one in the theater originally. It's a little bit of an odd movie, but I'll probably get that one another chance because I got it so cheap. We have The Great Wall with Matt Damon. It's a fun action movie to watch. Pacific Rim Uprising, another great series with incredible action. And The Batman. I enjoyed that one quite a bit. Very dark movie, but has some awesome visual effects. One I'll really want to watch on 4K. Ambulance. This was incredible when I watched it in the theater, and I've heard it's a great 4K release as well, so have to give that a try. This is the collector's edition. And Patriots Day with the slipcover. Been a while since I watched that one, but great true story. Great release. Here we have Captain America Civil War. Been a while since I watched that one. And the original Black Panther. Not my favorite in the MCU, but not a bad movie. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Good follow-up to the original. And Valerian, I don't remember a lot about this one, but remember it being a decent sci-fi movie with a younger cast. Skyscraper with Dwayne Johnson. I got a good deal on this one. I remember watching it in the theater. Pretty entertaining. And Moonfall with the slipcover. I enjoy this movie quite a bit. Some people don't like this movie very much, but I think it's a lot of fun to watch as a disaster movie. And Pitch Black, I have the Arrow 4K release. So I don't think I've ever seen this one. I know I watched one of the Riddick movies in the theater, but I need to watch through that whole series because I'm not super familiar with it at this point. And Two Guns with Denzel Washington and Mark Wahlberg. Looks like a fun action movie. Hell or High Water. I remember watching this one in the theater. Almost has a little bit of an indie feel, but pretty good bank heist type movie. Snake Eyes. I enjoyed watching that one in the theater too. That was a lot of fun. And Birds of Prey. I kind of enjoyed this one when I saw it in the theater. Not my favorite in the DC universe, but not a terrible movie. Same with Suicide Squad. I had some appreciation for this one, while it's also not my favorite of DC's movies. Good cast of characters and actors there. The Northman. This one has some cool visuals, some great, vibrant visuals, as well as nice contrast. So it's a good 4K release. As far as the story itself, I thought it was just all right. A little slower for my taste, but not terrible. And we got Iron Man 2 next here. Got to have all of those Marvel movies in my 4K collection if possible. I got Morbius, which is actually a lenticular slipcover copy here. So that one has a pretty cool effect. I enjoyed that movie also more than most people do. I had fun watching that one in the theater. Then here we have Ex Machina, I believe is how it's pronounced, with a slipcover. And that one I watched on streaming way back. Thought it was an alright movie, but wanted to see what the 4K release is like. And Prey. This is also a slipcover one I picked up recently from Half Price Books. I haven't actually watched this one yet, but I've heard very good things about this one, so I'll have to give that a try. And just picked this up recently. These next ones are going to be ones I picked up very recently in one of my hauls. This is Rambo 3, so I'm trying to get through buying all the Rambo movies on 4K. And next is Shadow. I wanted to watch this mainly for the visuals. I don't know too much about it, but I've heard it has some nice visuals on the 4K release. Here is Doctor Strange. That's one of the great series in the Marvel Universe. Pretty unique. Same as Shang-Chi. This was an interesting new addition to the MCU. I enjoyed some of the visual effects here and some of the dragons and everything. Jupiter Ascending. Not very familiar with this one. I've heard of it before. I don't think I've seen it, but I'll be giving that one a shot on 4K too. And here we have Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Classic martial arts movie. And Ghostbusters Afterlife. One of the better ones in the Ghostbusters series. Happy to have found that one recently. Then, of course, we have Black Widow on 4K, as I'm trying to complete the MCU collection here. And Gladiator, not a bad Russell Crowe movie. Mayhem, don't know a lot about this one, but I enjoy the cast here. Push with the slipcover. I know this one gets a lot of hate as well. I had this one on Blu-ray previously, but wanted to upgrade to the 4K because it was like $2 or $3 I got this for. And the original Creed movie on 4K with a slipcover. Be watching that whole series once I have all those on 4K. And I also got Star Wars Attack of the Clones on 4K. Hopefully I'll get all the Star Wars movies soon. Here's the original Shazam on 4K. Liam Neeson in Cold Pursuit. I've seen that one before, not a bad one. Now I was very excited to find this one recently. Scarlett Johansson in Ghost in a Shell. Very excited to see what that one looks like on 4K with the visuals and everything. And this one is the most recent Flash movie. I got that one for like $10 when I was on a trip recently. Thought that was a pretty good deal for this modern movie. And Battleship. I previously had this on Blu-ray, but wanted to upgrade to the 4K. Don't know if I've seen that one yet, but it looks like it has some cool scenes. Here is Alien Covenant. Love the Alien series. Definitely want to have all of those on 4K if possible in the future. And Hunter Killer. Heard some good things about the visuals and the audio in this one. We'll have to give it a try. Then we have Bloodshot, another Vin Diesel movie here. I watched this one in the theater when it came out and enjoyed it, so happy to have that 4K release. And I recently picked up Expendables 4 for a good deal. Haven't seen it yet, though. Now I have that whole series. And Hurricane Heist. I enjoyed that one a lot in the theater. Reminded me a lot of Fast and Furious, so happy to have that one, too. A lot of fun to watch that. All right, then we have the whole James Bond collection here. So this is every movie that was ever made in the James Bond series, all on Blu-ray. This is the beginning of the walkthrough of my regular 1080p Blu-rays in my collection. And I was excited to find this used for a great deal at half-price books, to where I paid well under $2 per movie by getting this box set. So that's an awesome deal. Probably be a while before I rewatch any of these movies, but still an incredible find. Then Greenland. This is one of my favorite Gerard Butler movies, as well as one of my favorite kind of disaster movies. A lot of fun to watch this one. It's unfortunate there hasn't been a 4K release at this point, but I really do enjoy this movie and would recommend it if you haven't seen it yet. Then here we have G.I. Jane. I picked this one up cheap at a library sale. It was, I believe, only $1. Then I also have Red Dawn. This one has Chris Hemsworth. Not super familiar with it, but another action movie I'll have to check out. Kick-Ass. I really enjoy both of the Kick-Ass movies. This one was a lot of fun. Great cast, great plot, great action. Really enjoy that one. Good comedy. And The Mechanic. Been a while since I've seen this one, so I want to watch both of those movies again soon with Jason Statham. And here is not the best copy. It's got kind of some peeling plastic, but copy of the movie Lucy. It's a pretty good female-led action movie. Scarlett Johansson. And the movie Red. Got a great cast in this one. Been quite a while since I've seen it, but both the Red movies are pretty good. And here is Narnia, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader 3D. I don't have a 3D Blu-ray player or capable TV. Or I guess I do have a Blu-ray player that plays 3D, just not a TV that recognizes it. But I just picked this up because it was a good deal for a Blu-ray, even if I can't play the 3D version. And here is Robin Hood with Kevin Costner. Here is Wanted. No, that one's been around for a while. Been a long time since I've seen that one. And here's Bruce Willis in Surrogates. Don't know a lot about that one. And we have From Paris with Love. Another one I'm not very familiar with that I got a good deal on. And Death Race 2 unrated. Death Race series is a lot of fun. They kind of changed up the cast throughout all those movies, but I enjoy those. A lot of good action in them. I think I might have the whole series at this point, actually. Here we have House of Flying Daggers. Not very familiar with this one, but I enjoy some of the martial arts type movies. Here is Honest Thief, another good Liam Neeson movie. I enjoy his movies quite a bit, even though they get a lot of hate. Slipcover copy of The Gunman, Sean Penn. Not very familiar with that one, but another good deal, an action movie I got. Side Effects. This one seemed like it could belong to multiple genres. Haven't given that one a try yet. Seemed like a good cast. Here is Lies and Illusions. Don't know a lot about that one. Here's a triple pack. It's got Steven Seagal in Driven to Kill, Chuck Norris in The President's Man, Too Young to Die with Brad Pitt. I think I got a really good deal on all of those 3 movies in this pack. Here is Aeon Flix, if I'm pronouncing that right. Not sure how to pronounce that actually, but or Aeon Flux, something like that. Charlie's Throne. Don't know if I've ever seen that one, but I know one's been around quite a while. Public Enemies. Another multi-pack with Friday, Menace to Society, and Set It Off. Been a long time since I've seen Friday, but it's not a bad deal in this pack. Watchmen Director's Cut. Book of Eli, great action movie there. Tiger House. I think if I remember right, I might have actually gotten this one at the Dollar Tree. I'm not sure. Underdog. Boxing story. Here's a Danny Trejo multi-pack with Border Cross and Cage of Glory. Hammer of the Gods. This one has an interesting looking slipcover. And then a couple kind of disaster movies that are probably low budget. Weather Wars and Miami Magma. Haven't watched those. Here we have Cage Fighter. Looked interesting. Tactical Force. Steve Austin. V for Vendetta. In the Valley of Ella. 44-inch chest. I Am Vengeance Retaliation. G.I. Joe Retaliation. In the Name of the King 3, The Last Mission. I like Dominic Purcell. Harrison Ford in Patriot Games. The Knowing. Nicolas Cage, that was an interesting movie. Probably one of Nicolas Cage's better ones, I think. Django Unchained. Here I have Star Wars The Force Awakens and regular Blu-ray. And here I have Guns, Girls, and Gambling. Haven't watched that one yet, but I got that one for only a couple bucks, I think. All right, next shelf here. I'm going to start with some of these I have on top that I got recently that I'm going to try out and decide if I keep or not. We got Jason Statham in Chaos. Steve Austin, The Condemned. Battle of the Damned, sci-fi movie. Alien Armageddon. Pride and Glory. And The Prince with Bruce Willis. So those ones I had up there separate just because I got those recently. I might want to watch them soon, or even a chance I might return them at some point. And here I have the Boondock Saints All Saints Day. Haven't watched that yet. We have here Killer Elite. Jason Statham. Here I have Survivor. We Were Soldiers. Red Stone. The Marine 3. Another one that's did a lot of cast change up in that series. Ninja Assassin with a slipcover. Elysium. This is one I wouldn't mind having on 4K if possible. War. Jason Statham and Jet Li. Good matchup there. Cameron Diaz in The Box. Sentinel. It's got Michael Douglas. George Clooney in The American. 12 Rounds 2 Reloaded. Then next up I have Transporter 3. I believe I have all of this series at this point as well. One of Jason Statham's better series, I think. Then we have Owen Wilson and No Escape. This was an interesting movie where they're trying to survive violence in a foreign country. X-Men The Last Stand. Not a big fan of the X-Men series overall, but still wanted to have these in my collection as they were all right. Warning Shot with the slipcover. This one looks like an interesting premise. Hercules with Dwayne Johnson. Don't think I've seen that one yet. Hannah. This one also has a slipcover. Point Break. Good action-packed movie that got a remake, I believe. iRobot, another one that I don't think has a 4K release, but that should have a 4K release because that was a great Will Smith movie. Night and Day with Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz. I remember that being a pretty good one years ago. Tarzan, or Legend of Tarzan. If I remember right, this one has a little bit of a slow pacing and wasn't my favorite, but still one I wanted to hold on to. Real Steel with Hugh Jackman. I love this movie. This movie is a lot of fun, had a great soundtrack in it. I really enjoyed that one. Then next here we have another multi-pack. Label's not in the best condition, but this one has Taylor Lautner in Abduction, Ashton Kutcher in Killers, and that movie Push, which I recently got a 4K copy of. Paranoia. I think I remember seeing this one in the theater. Wasn't too bad. Run All Night. Another one I think I saw in the theater with Liam Neeson. Steve Austin, Hunt to Kill. And another multi-pack with Daredevil with Ben Affleck, Elektra, and League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Not a bad Blu-ray multi-pack there. And of course, Sharknado I picked up recently. Fun movie. Takers. Hardcore Henry. That was a pretty unique filming style for that movie. All Is Lost. Robert Redford. Death Race 3. Inferno. Unrated. Kill Bill Volume 2. Recently I was excited to get Kill Bill Volume 1 as well. Parker. Haywire. Act of Vengeance. The Great Magician. X-Men Origins Wolverine with a slipcover. X-Men Days of Future Past with the slipcover. I remember seeing that one in the theater. X-Men First Class I saw in the theater too. Untraceable. And we got Prince of Persia with Jake Gyllenhaal. Creed 2. Still need to find this one on 4K. Tom Cruise and The Last Samurai. Classic movie there. And Alex Cross. And then we have Left Behind with Nicolas Cage. Not the best movie ever, but could be worse too. All right, next up down here, I have a copy of Beyond Skyline. Looked like an interesting sci-fi one. Got a Riddick multi-pack here. I wanted to rewatch those, so I was happy to find that multi-pack that's got Riddick. It's got, or let me see here, actually. I want to remind myself what's in this one. Pitch Black and the Chronicles of Riddick. Plus the Chronicles of Riddick and Dark Fury. So, yeah, I'll have to watch through those again soon. And R.I.P.D. with the slipcover. I remember watching this one on streaming. That was a fun movie. Enjoyed that quite a bit. Gravity. I don't know why this one hasn't gotten a 4K release. That's one that really should. Total Recall with Colin Farrell slipcover. Pretty cool. The Fifth Wave. Haven't watched this one. I know this one got a 4K release too, so if it's decent, I might consider getting the 4K later. Here we have Babylon AD with Vin Diesel. Haven't seen that one yet, but I enjoy Vin Diesel's movies. Sucker Punch. Branded. The Day the Earth Stood Still. Battle Los Angeles in a steelbook form. We got Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter 3D with a slipcover. 2010, The Year You Made Contact. Need to watch that one after watching 2001: A Space Odyssey. Matt Damon in Hereafter. Shadow Effect with the slipcover. Priest unrated. Skyline. District 9. I did enjoy District 9. I don't remember if that one has a 4K release, but that would be one I probably wouldn't mind having on 4K. Cloud Atlas. Aragon. Limitless. I love this movie. One of my favorite Blu-rays probably. Here we have a Matrix box set on Blu-ray. Interesting cover there. This has Matrix, Matrix Reloaded, Matrix Revolution, and it has some special features as well. You have The Fifth Element, Man on a Ledge, The Adjustment Bureau with Matt Damon, American Sniper, great story in that one. Steven Seagal 5-film collection that has Attrition, Driven to Kill, Kill Switch, Mercenary for Justice, and Today You Die. Nicolas Cage in Bangkok Dangerous. Eagle Eye. Armored. The Marine 4 Moving Target. Tears of the Sun, got that one recently. Mega Shark vs. Octopus, another recent pickup. Argo. Max Payne Unrated. G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra, with a slipcover. Bullet, Steve McQueen. Original Ghostbusters on Blu-ray. Pacific Rim with a lenticular slipcover. That's a pretty cool cover on that one. The Hunger Games. Here is a 3D copy of Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. Another lenticular slipcover. I think that was a Best Buy exclusive. Hansel and Gretel unrated cut. Inception. Have a multi-pack here. The Alien Quadrilogy, if that's how it's pronounced. Has Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection. In Time. This is another hidden gem kind of movie, I think. Has Justin Timberlake. Really unique concept of this movie. I love this one. All right, next row here, starting out with Lucky Number 11. Then we have Once Fallen. Don't know much about that one. Brothers Grimm. Interested in that one. Hard Kill. I think this is one of Bruce Willis's more recent movies. Then we have The Pirates of Somalia. Nicolas Cage in Stolen. Dark City, another kind of random sci-fi movie. Inside Man with Clive Owen and Denzel Washington. Hard Rain with Morgan Freeman. The Experiment. Grindhouse with Death Proof and Planet Terror. Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Classic movie there. We got Gangster Squad. Don't know much about this one, but it's got Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone. Flight of the Phoenix. Rush Lights. The Departed. DiCaprio movie there. Apocalypse Earth. I got this one pretty cheap at a Goodwill just to try it out. Young Guns. Here's that Furious 7 steelbook I mentioned earlier that I'm keeping just because I like having a steelbook for it. Archangel with the slipcover. Columbiana. Triple X. One of my favorite Vin Diesel movies there. Love that one. And this is a special one here, Escape Room. So this one I watched in the theater when it originally came out, and it just has a really cool, unique concept for a horror thriller kind of movie that involves a group of young people going to an escape room, and so many things go wrong in the escape room, and there's a twist at the end, and they made a sequel to this movie too, which I also saw in the theater and picked up recently, and they're both great movies that I would highly recommend that are kind of underrated. Then A Good Day to Die Hard. This is the one I didn't have in that collection I picked up recently. Faster with Dwayne Johnson. Contraband with Mark Wahlberg. Transporter 2. Gotta have that whole series. Source Code with Jake Gyllenhaal. Kidnap with Halle Berry. Snow White and the Huntsman. Unknown and Edge of Darkness double feature here. Good deal on that one. This Means War. That's a super fun movie. And Twister. This is a classic movie that I watched many times during my childhood. I remember this came out years ago, and I think I watched it on VHS and then DVD, and now I have it on Blu-ray. Looking forward to the sequel that's coming out soon too as well. And Ultraviolet. Hitman Unrated. I haven't really watched the Hitman movies, but they look interesting. 10,000 BC. Looks like that could have some cool action in it. Noah. Just picked that up recently. Rush. One of the car movies I haven't seen yet. 2012. This is one I enjoyed quite a bit, even though it's kind of controversial. Not everyone likes this one very much. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I Am Legend. Classic Will Smith. White House Down. Good series there. I enjoyed those a lot. The Host. Don't think I've seen this one recently, at least. The Bank Job with Jason Statham. Love all his movies. Sicario, Day of the Soldado. The slipcover on that one. And Nonstop with Liam Neeson. This is one of the earliest Blu-rays I picked up for my collection many years ago. Same with this one, Need for Speed. Classic car movie with Aaron Paul. I picked this one up years ago as well as one of the first Blu-rays in my collection. Then we have Savages. And last of this row, I have Cop Out with Bruce Willis and Tracy Morgan. Funny one there. All right, now for the next shelf. Here I have some on top that I'm going to share first. So, got this one recently, Dino Croc versus Super Gator. Looks like a pretty crazy one. Act of Vengeance. DiCaprio and Crow and Body of Lies. Frozen Ground with Nicolas Cage. 1517 to Paris. Escape Plan, trying to get that whole series, is The Extractors. And this Bruce Willis Die Hard combo pack, or collection I got recently, that has Die Hard, Die Hard 2, Die Hard with a Vengeance, and Live Free or Die Hard. I love that whole series. Alright, then a few more here I got recently. Ong Bak 2, Dead Man Down, and Kite. Still need to give those a try, decide if I'm going to keep them. Same with this one, The Monster. Don't know much about that one either. Alright, so first of all here, we have a slipcover copy of Nitro Circus 3D. Love the Nitro Circus movie, it's pretty cool. Then I have Vice with Bruce Willis. I have The Call with Halle Berry. I enjoyed that movie quite a bit. I watched that recently. It's a good one. Then I have Safe House. This one has Denzel Washington and Ryan Reynolds. Trespass. I watched that one pretty recently too, I believe, and not a bad movie. We have Unhinged with Russell Crowe. I actually saw that one in a drive-in movie theater in 2020, and that was a pretty cool movie. The Lookout. Looper. Abandoned. RoboCop. I've been wanting to watch this one soon. I haven't actually seen this one yet, but I've really been wanting to watch that one. Then A Knight's Tale. Tombstone. The Sum of All Fears. Redemption. The International. 88 Minutes. Donnie Brasco and We Own the Night. The Number Station. Killing Season. Lord of War with Nicolas Cage. Brick Mansions with Paul Walker. I love Paul Walker's movies. Hit and Run. The Commuter, another decent Liam Neeson one. The Brave One with Jodie Foster, good actress. American Assassin. Here you have Hunger Games, Mockingjay Part 1. Brooklyn's Finest. Stallone and Bullet to the Head. Salt with Angelina Jolie. Been years since I watched that one. SWAT. Rescue Dawn. Crank 2 High Voltage, another good Statham series. The original Equalizer with a slipcover. The Poseidon Adventure. The Great Escape. Hunger Games Catching Fire. Mile 22. The Hurt Locker. The original Boondock Saints. Rampart. The Wolverine. The Son of No One. Born to Race. This is another kind of underrated car movie that I really enjoy. That's kind of comparable to the Fast and Furious in some ways, but I really enjoyed this one. Trust. Sacrifice. Broken City. Nerve. Now this one I have a Blu-ray slipcover copy of. I really love this movie. This is an incredible one. Another one that I wish had a 4K release. Just a super awesome concept with this one. Super fun movie to watch. I highly recommend that one if you haven't seen it. Surveillance. And Nightcrawler with the slipcover. This is another one I've had in my collection for years. One of the first ones I got, and I enjoyed that movie quite a bit. Pretty unique. Moving on to the next Blu-ray row. On top here I have Lila and Eve. Picked up that one recently. Then I have IT. This was a tough one to find on Blu-ray.com just because of that spelled or something. Then I have The Big Hit. We have 3 Days to Kill. Kevin Costner movie. Triage. The Spirit. Tower Heist. Machine Gun Preacher, picked up that pretty recently. Seventh Son. The Astronaut's Wife. American Hustle. Heart's War with Bruce Willis and Colin Farrell. Cowboys vs. Aliens, or Cowboys and Aliens, sorry. That's a fun movie to watch. City Slickers. Interstellar on Blu-ray with a slipcover. This is definitely one I'd like to upgrade to 4K at some point. Then I have two steelbooks here. First I have the Maze Runner Blu-ray with a steelbook. I got that from Best Buy years ago. Love those movies. And the Scorch Trials, just as cool of a steelbook. We've got Hancock, good Will Smith movie. Chronicle, that was an interesting one, kind of a found footage style. Divergent. Super 8, that was pretty interesting. Star Trek with a slipcover. Dracula Untold. Green Lantern Extended Cut. That movie got a lot of hate, but still a little entertaining, I think. And here's another one I've watched for years and enjoyed, The Day After Tomorrow. It's a classic disaster movie, one of my favorites. Sanctum. The Kid. Act of Valor. Classic war movie. Species. I got a pretty good deal on that one. The Original Transporter. 300 Rise of an Empire. I haven't watched that sequel yet. It's a slipcover copy, but I did watch the original one on 4K. Never Back Down, another classic. Atia. Homefront, pretty good Statham movie. Get the Gringo with Mel Gibson. The Manchurian Candidate. Gamer, Gerard Butler. This is another triple feature. 7, Copycat and Taking Lives. And this is a cool steelbook I found. It's a Taken 3 movie collection on Blu-ray, so it has 3 of the movies in there. I wanted to get rid of my individual copies for that because it's a cool steelbook and save some space. Ghost Rider collection, so it's got Ghost Rider and the sequel to Ghost Rider, Spirit of, what does that say? Spirit of Vengeance. Haven't watched those in years. Black and Blue. This is probably one of my favorite cop movies of all time. I really love this one. I saw this in the theater and just really enjoyed it. So if you haven't seen that one yet, highly, highly recommend that one. Cloverfield. Pretty cool one. Way of War. Once Upon a Time in Venice. I actually got this at the Dollar Tree. Face Off and Snake Eyes. I actually got this at a Big Lots, pretty cheap. Then we have two movies here, Michael Keaton and One Good Cop and A Stranger Among Us. Then we have The Hunger Games Part 2, Mockingjay, and we have Inferno. Now moving on to the last row of Blu-rays, I have Jumper. Then over here I have Dangerous with the slipcover. World War Z, one I'd like to get on 4K eventually, but it's pretty expensive right now, so I got this cheap. The A-Team. Schwarzenegger in Terminator 2 Judgment Day and Total Recall. The Gray with Liam Neeson. Carlito's Way. Law Abiding Citizen. Sleepless with Jamie Foxx. Olympus Has Fallen. Drive with Ryan Gosling. Den of Thieves, one of my favorite heist movies of all time. That one's a lot of fun to watch. That's slipcover on that one. Bulletproof Monk, just got that recently. All the Devil's Men. Spy Game and State of Play in a combo pack. Sharktopus, looks like a silly movie I picked up from Goodwill. Serenity. Lone Survivor, great story there. Original Death Race, the one that has Jason Statham in it. Vehicle 19 with Paul Walker. This one has Bruce Willis in Hostage and in Setup. We have Morgan Freeman in The Code. Henry's Crime with Keanu Reeves. Spider-Man 3. A Few Good Men, classic movie. Sky Captain: The World of Tomorrow. I haven't watched that in years, but I got this for, I believe it was $1 at a library sale. Good deal. On the Job with the slipcover. Lara Croft Tomb Raider. Green Zone with Matt Damon. Beirut, I think that's how it's pronounced. Rush Hour, this is a collection here, so this has the whole trilogy in it. Category 7, random disaster movie. Sin City, looks like that has a pretty unique filming style there. Braven with Jason Momoa. Wire Room, the slipcover, another Bruce Willis movie. Supercell, also a slipcover. Gods of Egypt. The Forbidden Kingdom, Jackie Chan movie. 21, I enjoy that movie quite a bit. Gundala with a slipcover, haven't watched that yet. Kill Bill Volume 1, looking forward to watching those. The System, that's one with Tyrese Gibson. We got Sabotage, one of the more recent movies with Arnold Schwarzenegger. We have Red 2. We have 5 Days of War. Freelancers. Getaway, looks like a fun one. I remember watching this one years ago too. And Red Riding Hood, alternate cut, looks interesting. Right, now I brightened up this area to show you the DVDs I have down here. So we have Firewall with Harrison Ford there. We have Red Heat with Schwarzenegger. Dead Space Downfall. Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. Denzel Washington, Man on Fire. The Legend of Zorro. It's the original movie. I got the second one on 4K recently. Vantage Point. The Scorpion King with the Rock. Active Stealth. X2, X-Men United. Absalon. Flags of Our Fathers. Catch Me If You Can. Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. Ocean's 13. Master and Commander with Russell Crowe. Ocean's 11. Stealth. Damage with Steve Austin. Desert Heat with Van Damme. Prolonged Exposure. The Italian Job, classic movie there. The Musketeer. Star Wars The Phantom Menace. Star Wars 2, Attack of the Clones. Upside Down. This is a movie I love that I wouldn't mind getting in a higher format. That's kind of underrated. Good mixture of kind of like sci-fi, drama, and romance. Artificial Intelligence. Daybreakers. Sahara. Fracture. Then we got a Star Wars trilogy here. It's a box set that has 3 of the movies in it. And Black Hawk Down. I actually need to pull this one out because I got that one on 4K recently. Then The Devil's Own. The Interpreter. And Armageddon, another Bruce Willis classic. All right, now for the last shelf of my action movie collection. So these are all DVDs. First of all, we have The Godfather, the Coppola restoration. I eventually might consider getting these on the 4K format, but I actually haven't watched the Godfather movie, so I'm going to try them out here first, see if I want to do the upgrade to 4K or not. Then here we have Breakout. Looks like an interesting cast on this one, so I think I got this pretty cheap just to try it out. Then here we have the original Rocky. Here we have Bad Boys and Bad Boys 2. I have Bad Boys for Life on 4K as I showed earlier, so eventually might want to see if I can get these on 4K. Here I have Panic Room with Jodie Foster. I enjoyed this movie. From what I understand, this one's only available on DVD, which is interesting. It's a good movie. And then here's Escape Plan, the original. Bruce Willis and The Sixth Sense, the Vista series. Blood Diamond, classic movie. Batman versus Robin. Sorry, Batman and Robin, not versus Robin, but the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. High Crimes. The Da Vinci Code. Lara Croft Tomb Raider. Then we have Charlie's Angels, Full Throttle. We have Jennifer Lopez in Enough. Have Tom Jane and John Travolta in The Punisher. Been a lot of Punisher movies. Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer. Navy SEALs. Original RoboCop trilogy. Then Blade 1 through 4, I guess. Not super familiar with the Blade movies, but I know there's a new one coming from what I understand. Australia. Half Past Dead. Speed Racer. Troy. Hollywood Homicide. Basic. The Missing. The November Man. Night Passage. Radio Flash. Now this is another underrated one. I watched this one time on a streaming service or something like that, and I really enjoyed this one. It's kind of a interesting, almost post-apocalyptic thriller type movie. This is one I really enjoyed, and I think it might only be available on DVD, but definitely check this one out if you haven't seen it. Deceived, Vanishing Point, Freeway with Kiefer Sutherland, and The Skulls with Paul Walker. Gotta check that one out still since I like Paul Walker's movies. All right, now for this bottom part, we have Catwoman over here, Halle Berry's movie, The Matador, Collateral Damage with Schwarzenegger, Derailed, City by the Sea, Shoot 'em Up, Confidence, Behind Enemy Lines with Owen Wilson, Into the Blue with Paul Walker, Garrison, Battle in Seattle, Blockbuster exclusive, Men of Honor for Robert De Niro, The Abyss, the special edition, White Squall, Unbreakable, the Vista series, Cradle to the Grave 2, Unstoppable, that's a really good movie that I'll probably want to upgrade at some point to Blu-ray. The Original Marine, Imperium, Agent Cody Banks, classic movie from my childhood. Spider-Man, love that movie. Spider-Man 2 with the slipcover, not a bad sequel. Agent Cody Banks 2. Peppermint, got this one from the Dollar Tree. Assassination Nation. Escape Plan 2. Moonraker, need to take that one out because I have the Blu-ray collection for James Bond. Shaft, another one from the Dollar Tree. Journey to the Center of the Earth. 21 Bridges, it's a library copy there. Mega Piranha, silly movie. Die Another Day, gotta take that one out because of my Blu-ray collection. All Creatures Here Below. Jet Li and Hero, Quentin Tarantino movie, and it's got a slipcover. Gone in 60 Seconds, classic Cage movie. Running Scared with Paul Walker, gotta watch that one soon. Beast of Burden with Daniel Radcliffe. And The Negotiator. So I just had a few more videos I wanted to add in for the action shelf walkthrough here that I found on one of my other shelves after I finished recording everything else. So first of all, we have Black Hawk Down here. I'm looking forward to watching this one on 4K because I picked this one up at a pretty good deal from Facebook Marketplace at one point, and I've been excited to watch that one because I know that's a great movie. Then we have here the Twilight Saga New Moon. Slight, this is one of my favorite movies of all time as well. Awesome kind of action drama movie with a unique spin. So if you haven't seen this one, I really highly recommend that one. And then this one here is Chappie on 4K. This is another one of my first 4Ks I've ever gotten in my collection, and I love this movie as well. It's a really cool concept and a really fun movie to watch. And then here we have Kingsman: The Golden Circle. I really enjoy how the Kingsman movies look on the 4K format. Very bright and vibrant, great soundtrack and everything. So definitely worth getting those on the 4K format. All right, so here are some of my action Funko Pops. You can see I have a big Darth Vader Funko here. I have the lights and sound Darth Vader here. So this one, if you push his head, he lights up and makes noise. And then down below we have a few other Star Wars Funko Pops, C-3PO, R2-D2, Chewbacca, Jar Jar Binks. Have some of the Mandalorian Funko Pops here. And then some of the Harry Potter Pops here. And my wand for my trip to Universal Studios. So just want to give you guys a quick look at those. Alright, so that was the full walkthrough of my entire action movie collection. I've added some more titles recently, so it was exciting for me to be able to share those with you. These action movie shelves are getting pretty full, so I'll have to kind of watch through more of these movies and decide if I want to get rid of any or decide if I can expand my collection to another area of my house. But I hope you enjoyed seeing all these movies, all these Funko Pops. I will be doing more videos very soon of the other genres of my movie collection, where I'll go through the updated comedy movies I have, the horror movies I have, the drama movies I have, and all the other ones. So stay tuned for that. And if you haven't already, hit the like and the subscribe buttons down below to stay updated for my latest videos. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.